Hey everyone, welcome to the show. So, as you guys probably heard, we had yet another domestic terrorist attack over the weekend, a mass shooting. This one was at the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints in, I believe it's pronounced Grand Blanc Township in Michigan. Looks like it should be Blanc, but everybody I've heard pronounces it Blank. I have brand new details to share with you guys about who the shooter was, what his motivation appears to be for this horrific attack. If you haven't heard about this, though, here's a quick recap for you. So the shooter drove his truck through the front doors of this church, got out of his truck, starts shooting at random at people. He also set fire to the building. The authorities, in addition, found 3 explosive devices. Luckily, they had not been set off, but there were at least 12 gunshot victims. 4 of them have been confirmed as deceased as of today. 2 died of gunshot wounds, and 2 others died in the fire. Police did say they expect to find more victims potentially because as they are clearing the debris from the fire, they may come across more people. The reason they say that is because there are still people who are unaccounted for. So the shooter was shot and killed. He was killed on the scene by the police who showed up very quickly. Immediately, as soon as this news broke, MAGA started blaming the left and they started blaming minorities. There were people tweeting about trans cults being involved as if that is actually a thing that exists. Like these people are delusional. Looney Laura Loomer, she published a tweet blaming Muslims, of course, because she is such a bigot. It's unbelievable that someone of Jewish heritage could hate another person simply because of how they were born or the religion that they practice. It's just unreal. So she wrote in part, quote, "Watching the attack on Christians today in Michigan, I will say it is only going to get worse. The Democrats in Michigan are running a Muslim for Senate in 2026 named Abdul El-Sayed. Hate against Christians is widespread in places like Michigan because the entire state is being taken over by Muslims who refuse to assimilate. Beware, Michigan. Only you can stop the Islamic invasion of your state before it becomes uninhabitable for Christians and Jews." I mean, first of all, these aren't Christians. They're Mormons. These people are so ignorant. And I saw so many people in the comment section, oh, well, Mormonism is a form of Christianity. No, if it's not Christian, it's not Christianity. If it was, they would be called Christians and it would be a Christian church. This was a Mormon church. These are Mormon people. They are 2 different things. They're just so ignorant. And then, of course, Trump jumps on the bandwagon. He posts on his failing social media site, quote, "The suspect is dead, but there is still a lot to learn. This appears to be yet another targeted attack on Christians in the United States of America. This epidemic of violence in our country must end immediately." Again, not Christians. And I kind of thought that's what you were supposed to be doing, Slappy. Isn't that what he said he was going to do? Why is it that the violence is ramping up? Not very good at his job, I guess. So who was the shooter? Well, he has been identified as a 40-year-old Marine veteran named Thomas Jacob Sanford. Sadly, like I said, he is deceased. He leaves behind a wife and a young son, and his son has a very serious, very rare medical condition. So obviously this man hated other people more than he cared for his child, or he wouldn't have done this shit. At the same time, I do recognize, and I've said this so many times before, we don't take care of our veterans. We just don't. Apparently, according to family members, he was suffering from PTSD, and we just do not we do not take care of them. They come back after seeing horrific things, after experiencing things that most of us will never have to experience in our life and can only imagine in our worst nightmares. And they are just thrown back into society without a care. So I'm not trying to excuse what he did at all. At the same time, we have to acknowledge that we have an issue and we need to do better for our veterans. As for Sanford's political ideology, here you go. He posted this on Facebook, or I don't know if he posted it or his wife posted it, but this was a Facebook post from 2019. And for those on the podcast, it's a photo of Sanford with his wife and with his child, and Sanford is wearing a shirt with a cartoon image of Donald Trump on it, and it says Trump 2020 and make liberals cry again. It is what it is, right? This is a photo that journalists published. This is a Google Maps image. This was taken at Sanford's address, and it shows, you can see in the kind of left upper kind of corner of the screen, there's a Trump Pence yard sign attached to his fence. So this image was taken in June of this year. Then the Daily Beast reported that today, I should say they reported today that over the past 5 years, Sanford flew a Trump flag outside of his house. He, on social media, was mocking Joe Biden. He mocked the whole mask wearing during COVID and the pandemic. He was like totally against the shutdown. He also, in social media posts, was praising Donald Trump. He praised Charlie Kirk's organization, Turning Point USA. They also shared this photo in the Daily Beast. This is a photo of Sanford's mother. So again, for podcast listeners, she is standing next to what looks like a wax figure or something, or some sort of figure of Donald Trump. And she's smiling and she's holding a Trump Vance 2024 sign. In regard to his voting history, he was registered to vote according to USA Today, but apparently in Michigan, they don't register by party. So we don't know what he was registered as. Voting records don't show when he last cast a ballot. I'm going to go out on a limb here, guys, and stick with me. Hear me out on this one. I'm going to take a stab in the dark, and I'm going to say he's a MAGA Republican. I know. I mean, what evidence do we have, right? If you look at the Twitter replies, oh, it can't possibly be. It must be photoshopped, right? Oh, yeah. By the way, that photo that I shared with you guys, the first one of him with his wife and his child, that's still up. That's still on their Facebook page. And it's dated 2019. So if that's photoshopped and this is a whole psyop and this is, just to try to get MAGA in trouble, well, he really played the long game. I mean, 6 years this guy's been sitting on that fake photo on his own Facebook page. People are ridiculous. Anyway, according to the Detroit Free Press, we may have an explanation for why he did this. So there's a city council candidate. He identified Sanford as someone that he recently met. He was out canvassing the area for his campaign, and he runs into Sanford, and Sanford starts ranting to him about Mormons. So apparently the candidate is Chris Johns. He met Sanford less than a week ago. So this was very top of mind for him. And he said that Sanford first was like talking about his son, and then he's talking about his support for the Second Amendment. Well, then John said that the conversation took a quote unquote sharp turn, and Sanford starts asking him for his thoughts on Mormonism. According to Johns, Sanford told him that Mormons, or I guess the Mormon church, is the quote unquote Antichrist. And then Johns told the news outlet, quote, "It was very much standard anti-LDS talking points that you would find on YouTube, TikTok, Facebook." Now, John said they didn't discuss politics, but he did confirm seeing that Trump sign on Sanford's fence. And several news reports described Sanford's vehicle that he used to ram into the church, and they shared photos of it. So the truck that he was driving had two huge American flags. They were attached right behind the cab. And then there were a pair of deer antlers attached to the bumper. You know, what liberals would drive, what Antifa, liberal, crazy anti-Trumpers would drive, right? I mean, so this photo was taken by the Associated Press, and it's being shared, various places online. It's been shared in articles, and of course, just as with everything else that I shared with you, MAGA doesn't want to buy this. So you can see flags are there. If you look at the very front of the truck, at the very edge of the front bumper, you can see just the tip of the antlers there. So this is very much real. Anyway, as with Donald Trump's post, there's just a bunch of MAGA people, a bunch of MAGAville. They're trying to cope so hard. The level of cope is off the charts. One guy actually said something like, "Oh, MAGA goes to church. We don't shoot them up." I mean, I guess when you exist inside of a right-wing news bubble and you're too insecure, you're too afraid to go check out other media sources that won't agree with you, I guess you wouldn't know about MAGA mass shooters like Dylan Roof. In any case, so many of these MAGA supporters are all saying some version of, "Oh, Christians are under attack." Again, do they not understand Mormons and Christians are two different things? So I'll keep you posted. I'll let you know when I hear more. But yeah, it seems to be pretty cut and dry that this guy just had an issue with Mormons. I guess when he was talking to that city council candidate, he mentioned that he was married to someone who was in a Mormon family. I'm assuming that's the wife, because he has been, I guess, divorced. I think he has a girlfriend, right? Or had a girlfriend when this all went down, but it appears that he and his wife didn't make it last. So maybe that was it. He was just pissed off at her, and she didn't go to this church. None of her family apparently went to this church, but I don't know. Who knows what triggered this. Anyway, guys, like I said, I will have more for you, and I am starting a new series. I decided I am going to highlight all of the MAGA maniac events, all of the evil and violent crimes that they have committed over the last 10 years since Trump took office, because I think this is a good time to do that, since they're trying to blame the left for everything and pretend that they're just these angels who never do anything wrong, and we're all so innocent. We're the good, rational ones. No, you're not. So anyway, I'm going to have to put out reminders because, my show hasn't been around that long. So there were a lot of stories that I would have covered on my show had they have happened when I had it. So I'm going to do that now. All right. Thank you all so much for watching and listening. Please like, please share, and subscribe. If you can donate, truly appreciate it. Love you all. Take care. Talk with you soon.